This is a demonstration that deals with exercise 31 in lesson 16. And this one is for child and dependent care credit. And it's for Greg and Alice Kohler. They have two children. They have Jason Kohler, who is a student, college student, and Naomi Kohler. And they're both listed as dependents. Jason, because he's still in college. So I've entered, there are two W-2s, and I've entered both of those W-2s already. I'm just going to show you the W-2s. There's one for the taxpayer, which is Greg, and there's one for Alice, the spouse, in this return. And I wanted to show you in the spouses and Alice's that it told us, and it had on the W-2 in box 10, $2,000 for dependent care benefits. Remember that $2,000. That was paid towards the dependent care for Naomi. So the 2000's in there. Everything else was entered into two W-2s, I hope correctly. I'm just going to say continue, and both of those are still there. What we're asked to do in this exercise is to enter Naomi's daycare details. And that turns out to be, it will be on a form 2441, a 2441. Now, we could find that it's going to be, I know now it's a deduction, and I could go in the deductions, and under deductions, I could see adjustments, standard deduction, itemized deductions. There's a line for credits, an entry for credits, child and dependent care. There's how I could find it. If I knew it, I could just navigate there. But we know it's going to create a Form 20. We're told it's going to create a Form 2441. So let's just key in 2441, and there it is, child dependent care expenses. Make it easy on yourself. You enter the form number, it's going to open the form. So what's the first thing it's asking for? And we're given this information. Well, the provider's identification number. Well, it's Marie Dawson, and Marie Dawson is using her Social Security number. Notice where the EIN is, there's a drop down. If it were a company that had an EIN, we'd just leave it at EIN and key it in. She has a Social Security number that she's providing, so we're going to key in her Social Security number. And her Social Security number is 055 00 0005. Provide his first name. Now, if they didn't give information, we could click this box right here. But she did provide it. It's Marie Dawson. Her last name is Dawson. Country's US. What's the address? We're given the address 1498 Charles Street. And the zip code. The zip code is ours. I'll use mine. It's in Plymouth. The provider is my household employee? No. We are provided a phone number. We could key it in or not. I'll just go ahead for the heck of it and key it in. It's 542-901-3636. And that's it. We've now entered the information for the care provider. We say continue. And up comes recipients of care from Dawson. Well, who? Well, how much you paid? Well, Naomi is here, and we know it was paid for Naomi. How much was paid? Well, $2,500 was paid. We're told that Marie provided a receipt for $2,500 for her daycare after school while her parents were still at work. Remember, in this case, it's either for work or looking for work that you can claim the child and dependent care credit. And so they were working. It allows the taxpayer and spouse to work. Qualified individual is not listed. Well, we don't have anyone else. It was just all paid for Naomi. We're going to say save or continue. And we're done. Dependent. Did you receive any dependent care from your employer that are not reported? No. Were your spouse able to work disabled? That's no. Delayed payments. Any care for 2022 and 2023? No. And there's the summary showing us that the credit amount is $105. Let's see why. Well, let's go in and look at the return itself. It tells us to go and look at the Form 2441. So we're going to go into the summary print and go up to the View Print Return so we can see the whole return, including the form, and say Print, which is just going to display the return. I'll enlarge this a little bit. You can see the 2441 is included in the return. Let's go find it. Let's see. Where is the 2441? There it is, child and dependent care expenses. It asks us to take a look at line 1E. Line 1E is A, B, C, D, E. So here's line 1, and there's E. And under there, you can see the amount paid was $2,500. But only 500 of that is used here in line 3. There's the 500. Well, why? Well, the employer paid $2,000 towards that. We saw that on the W-2 for Marie Dawson. And so the software deducted the $2,000 from the $2,500, so we're left with $500 of qualifying payments. Of that, when it runs through the calculation, it's going to look at their income, the taxpayer's income, and determine what the decimal amount is going to be used. The less you earn, the higher the credit would be. Ultimately, on line 9A, it shows that the credit they're entitled to is $105. So again, this was to show you how to enter the information for the credit for child and dependent care expenses, including the provider's information, and in the Form W-2, the fact that $2,000 was entered as a amount that the employer paid towards the expenses for the daycare. So that's the end of this exercise.